Hey guys, it's Maddie or Books with Maddie. Today I am filming the mid-year book freakout tag. So I've been seeing everybody doing this in the past week or so, and I don't know if y'all collaborated and everybody plans to do it at the same time, but I was not in the loop, so I didn't do it last week. So I'm doing it now, and technically it's not halfway through the year. It's not mid-year, but everybody else is doing it, so I'm doing it now. I don't know who originally did this tag, I don't know who made it, but I will do some digging and see if I can find who did it. If I find who made this, I will link their video, is what I'm trying to say. And what I'm trying to say is I'll give credit where credit is due. Now I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag, and we're gonna just start. Okay, I have some notes because I've started taking notes for my videos so I don't freaking ramble off. The first question of the tag is the best book you've read so far in 2020. Now this is hard because I read some good ones. So I have two that I think I want to specifically shout out. I think the two best books that I've read this year, and this is by a small margin, but there's been so many good ones this year. I think these two top them though. The first one is Jane Eyre. I read this early this year for my women in literature class, and it is my all-time favorite classic now. I think about this book probably every day. Is that okay? I don't know. I think about it so much. I felt like I learned a lot from it. I just felt like I learned a lot. I don't know. Anyway, the second one is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I know we've been y'all read this a long time ago. I know I'm behind, but hear me out. I just read it and it was good. It was so good. I didn't know what happened. I never saw the movie. I never knew what happened. I didn't see that coming. I saw none of that coming. The end, I didn't see it coming. I gave it 5 stars. This is the first thriller I think I've ever given 5 stars because I don't read a lot of thrillers. Until I read this, I didn't think I liked thrillers, but I think I do a couple recently and I'm excited to read them. The next question is the best sequel that you've read so far in 2020. I've only read one sequel, I believe. Luckily, it is also the best sequel I've ever read. I gave it 5 stars. It was Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I read it in February, I believe, and I absolutely adored it. I liked it better than the first book. I believe I cried a little bit at the end. It was just so good. It was so good. I love this series so much because of all of the different genres it kind of combines. There's romance, there's historical fiction, but there's also this mystery whodunit element, and so I think that's really, really cool, and I highly recommend if you haven't read this series yet to pick it up. The third question is new release that you haven't read yet but you want to, and I have a whole list. And oh gosh, okay, I didn't write down the authors' names when I wrote down this list, so I'll put a picture of the book here so you can see. I have 6, but that is 6 out of 100. There has been some really good books that have come out this year, and I really want to read all of them. But The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I loved the Legend series when I read it, except for Champion. We don't talk about her, but I really, really loved Marie Lu's writing in the Legend series, and I haven't picked up anything else from her, but this is historical fiction, and yes, please. The second one is Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie McElmore. I've never read anything by Anna Marie McElmore before, but I am very excited. I don't think I've ever read any magical realism to the extent that Anna Marie McElmore writes in. Dark and Deepest Red sounds right up my alley though, and so I'm very excited to pick that up soon. The third one is My Dark Vanessa. I cannot remember the author's name for this one, but it sounds like such a good book. The cover is beautiful. That book is just an all-around yes. Fourth one is Felix Ever After. I've heard such good things about this book. The cover is literally the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've just heard it is such a good book, so I need to pick that up soon. The other one is Conjure Women. I can't remember the name of the author for this one either, but reading the synopsis, wow. The cover, oh my gosh. But even more than that, the synopsis, so it's magic and the Civil War and historical fiction and everything I've ever asked for. And then the last one is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. It is, I believe, written in verse, which is something that I'm really, really into. I read Blood, Water, Paint last year, and that was my second favorite book of the year. I loved how it was written in verse. And then I just picked up, what's it called? Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, which is also written in verse, and I'm planning on picking that up hopefully next month. But I really would like to get more into that category of reading. So I really want to pick up clap when you land soon. The fourth question is your most anticipated release for the second half of 2020. For this one, I also could have made a very extensive list, but I ended up only picking 2 just because I think these 2 are the ones that I'm most excited for, although I am very certain I'm probably forgetting some. But the 2 that I immediately think of when I think the rest of this year are Blood and Honey by Shalmi Mahurin, which is the second book in the Serpent and Dove series. I loved Serpent and Dove last year, and I'm very excited. I keep talking about covers, but honestly, oh my gosh, that one, whew. The other one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is by V.E. Schwab. I've just recently gotten into V.E. Schwab. I know I'm late. I know that y'all have been raving about her for a while, but I just read this Savage Song in Our Dark Duet, and holy crap, I should have been on this train a long time ago. The concept of that story sounds incredible to me. I cannot wait for it to come out and for me to buy it. So yeah. Okay, the 5th question is your biggest disappointment so far this year, and I have 2 for this one. The first one is actually written by one of my favorite authors of all time, Siege and Storm. I could not with this book. I really could not. I had so many issues with it. I go into some of those more in my review on Goodreads, but I really could not. This book did not fit. It was just not for me at all. I know a lot of people, this is their favorite book from the series, but I did not enjoy it. I gave it 2 stars, which really sucks because I love Leigh Bardugo and I own all but one of her books. I was just super disappointed by this book. I didn't really connect with the characters. I didn't connect with the storylines. It just didn't click with me at all. So this is one of my biggest disappointments. The other one is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. It wasn't so much a disappointment as this was the first book I had read of Marissa Meyer, and it just wasn't like everybody hypes her up so much. Everybody hypes Heartless up so much. I just felt like it was like maybe I just had really high expectations and that's the reason why I was so disappointed by it, but it just didn't really click with me. I didn't really like the writing style, but I am very open to reading more from Marissa Meyer. I just purchased Cinder actually like a couple weeks ago, and so I do own that, and I am planning on reading it. It sounds amazing, and so I'm very excited to get into that actually. The next question is your biggest surprise of the year, and for this one I would say Gone Girl is definitely a surprise about how much I like that, considering like I said, I don't really like thrillers very much. And another one that was pretty surprising for me, and at the time of filming this, I actually have not finished reading it. I am very close, but it is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. So I am like, this is how much I have left to read. Ow! Pulled my hair. Okay, so I'm almost done, and I have absolutely fallen in love with this book. I didn't really like the Savage Song very much. I gave it 3 stars. I had a really hard time getting into it. It took me like 3 months to read, but I'm so glad I continued because holy crap, I'm in love with this book. Hopefully the ending is good. Things have changed and I'm crying now, so I think it still gets 5 stars because, oh my god. But, oh, that was, oh, I don't know where to go from here. But I guess we'll see soon, because I'm planning on finishing it tonight. I could have just waited to film this video till tomorrow. I should have probably, it's fine. But I was very surprised because I didn't like the Savage Song very much, and I thought the storyline just didn't really click with me. I didn't really like the characters, but that all changed. Our Dark Duet. Okay, favorite new author is question number 7. You might have guessed Victoria Schwab from what I was saying in this video, but yes, I do plan on reading more from Victoria Schwab this year. I own A Darker Shade of Magic, and obviously The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue I plan on picking up, so I'm very excited for all of that. Another author that I really enjoyed reading from this year, even though I only read 1 book, was N.K. Jemisin. She wrote the Broken Earth trilogy, and I read the first book from that. I loved her writing style. I thought it was genius and incredible, and that book was like absolutely blew my mind. I had to take like I'd take a break from it before I read the second book, but I'm planning on reading the second book very, very soon. So hopefully it will be just as good. So the 8th question is newest fictional crush. As you know, I don't really feel that way towards characters. But if I absolutely had to choose, when I was planning out my notes for this video, I like went through all of the books that I'd read this year and basically had a bunch of trash male characters so far this year. I mean, if we look at Gone Girl, that is a pretty trashy male character. We had the Shadow and Bones trilogy, which I did not like any of the men in that book, besides the guy who had the cat. That was a great guy. We've had Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire, which, as we know, I hated the male character in that book. Gosh, okay. Anyway, so if I had to choose one from the very poor selection of male characters that I have, I would choose August from Our Dark Duet. And it's nothing against him. I don't not like him as a character or anything. It's just I don't really feel that way towards fictional people, which is just me. I don't know. Anyway, newest favorite character is question number 9, 7, 8? 7, 8, or 9. I'm not sure which one. But I have a list of 4 characters because I read some really great female characters this year so far. The first one is Marianne from Normal People. I gave this book 4 stars. I read it this month. I read it a couple weeks ago, actually. And I really connected to Marianne. I really liked her as a character. I really felt for her a lot. And I enjoyed reading about her. Another character that I really fell in love with was Kate from Our Dark Duet. I have mentioned this book so many times. Is it becoming the new Lovely War? Anyway, I love Kate. I love her so much. She's just the coolest person literally ever. I kind of want to be her a little bit. And I really loved her. She was the only reason I continued in this series. So thank Kate for getting me to read this book. The next one of my favorite characters is kind of not a new character, but I reread the Hunger Games trilogy and I fell in love with Katniss. The reread reignited my passion for her, and she's just such a good character. I can't. I talk about it more in the reading vlog that I did about rereading the Hunger Games and then reading the prequel. Anyway, so my passion for Katniss has been reignited and I love her and she's amazing. The last character that I want to talk about is Amy from Gone Girl. Freaking loved her. I loved her so much, it's ridiculous. She's one of my new all-time favorite characters. I really loved her as a character. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I did. Question number, the next one is a book that made you cry. Now, I cry very easily over books, so all of them would be an accurate answer, but I will pick the ones that made me cry the most. Okay, so the first one is Ruin and Rising. I cried at the end of this because I was so happy. I really liked the ending of this book. I don't know if you read this series, but oh my gosh, the ending of this book was incredible. And you should read it, even though Siege and Storm is kind of trash, but this one redeems it. The next one was The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave this book 4 stars. I didn't love it, but there were definitely some tear-worthy moments in it, especially the end. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about if you read the book, but like, oh my gosh, I cried. Okay, now we get into the answers where like cry is no longer the accurate word to express the emotions that I felt whilst reading the next 2 books. Crying would not do justice to what my body had to go through when I read the books. I would describe it more as like heartbreak, like sobbing, weeping would all be accurate words that you could use for the behavior that I demonstrated when reading these books. And they're both, of course, historical fiction because no book can make me cry like historical fiction can. The first one is The Book Thief. Obviously, we all cry, so this is not a surprise. I cried for about a half an hour after reading this, which is actually short for how I usually cry over books. I could not stop thinking about it. I believe that I cried on separate occasions even when I didn't read the book. Like later that night I thought about it, I started crying again. So this book actually destroyed my soul, but I loved it. And the last one is, I believe, the book that made me cry the absolute most this year, and it is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Oh my gosh, I cried so hard. I was like convulsing, which is the most dramatic thing I've ever said. But like, I cried so hard when I read this book. It was pathetic. It was pathetic. I was like literally on the ground, just dead. So if you need a heart-wrenching book that will make you cry like you've never cried before, read The Nightingale. I highly recommend this book regardless of if you want to cry or not. Okay, question number 27. I'm making up numbers now. Book that made you happy. So I'm trying to think of books that I haven't already talked about because I feel like I'm just saying the same books over and over again. You know what? I think Daisy Jones and the Six is one of the best books I read this year. I didn't even consider it. Why? I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm stupid. That's also a great book that I didn't for some reason talk about. A book that made me happy, I'm gonna say Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I know that's not like an exciting answer, but like that book made me really happy. And I know there's a lot of controversy around J.K. Rowling right now, but I'm gonna pretend that Daniel Radcliffe wrote the books and just pretend J.K. Rowling doesn't exist because she sucks. Other books that made me happy, Hunting Prince Dracula, which I already talked about, and Ruin and Rising. But I just already talked about that one, but I thought I'd give them a quick shout out because they made me happy. The next question is your favorite book to movie adaptation that you watched this year. I believe I only watched one, which is surprising because I hate book to movie adaptations. Definitely Little Women. I've never read the book, so I don't know if that counts, but I believe that's the only book to movie adaptation I've seen. It is my new favorite movie. I don't know if that's just because I haven't read the book, but I love that movie with my entire soul. Please watch it if you haven't. Favorite review that you've written this year? I would say my review for Beautiful Disaster. I put so much time and effort into that review. I put my heart and soul into that review for a 1-star book. I feel like it's so much easier for me to write reviews for books that I hate rather than books I love. I believe that is my favorite review that I've written this year. The most beautiful book that you've bought this year. That is the next question. Question number 59. I thought about this for a while, and I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I know I've said that 3 times. I think the cover for Cinder is just like really satisfying to me. I don't know why. But I bought this used, but like look what good look at the condition. It's good condition for a used book. Great condition even. Wow. But yeah, that's like a pretty cover, as well as The Battle Song vs. Snakes. This cover is everything that I've ever dreamed of. I really enjoy this cover a lot. And it's even better because like this thing, yes. I vote yes. What am I even saying anymore? The last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I'm gonna choose books on my physical TBR, so books that are on this shelf, because there are so many that I need to read that I don't own, and it would just be easier to talk about books that are here. The first book from my physical TBR that I want to read this year is King of Scars. So basically, I read the trilogy this year, but I read Six of Crows last year. So I read them out of order. So basically, I want to reread Six of Crows before I read King of Scars, so that I read them in order. So I have to still read those two before I read King of Scars. Even though I already read them, but I'm gonna reread them. Also, they're amazing. And then I'm gonna read King of Scars. And then I'll be caught up. And then I'm gonna read Ninth House. Scary stuff. Okay, spooky stuff. Okay, another one is is it The Cruel Prince? The Cruel Prince. Cruel Prince. I mean, it says The Cruel Prince, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody say The Cruel Prince. Am I delusional? The Cruel Prince. I feel like I just hear people say Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Is this the Mandela effect? The Cruel Prince. I swear it's always been just Cruel Prince. Wait a second. Okay, hang on a second. Are you telling me this entire time it's been The Cruel Prince? Have I said The Cruel Prince? I feel like I've only said Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And the other one is The Wicked King. Have I said Wicked King or The Wicked King? I have no idea, but I feel like I've only ever said Cruel Prince. Have I said The Cruel Prince? Neither of them sound right to me. Okay, I don't know what just happened or what dimension I just went to. What? I don't know, but I really want to read this book. This book by Holly Black this year. I really want to read it because I've heard it's good and it sounds like something I would enjoy. And I have the second book. I don't have the third one, but I'll probably get it. Okay. Anyway, the next one is Escaping from Houdini by Karen Maniscalco. I am drawing this series out as long as possible because I don't want it to ever end. So I do need to read this year, but I've been holding myself back, but I don't know how much longer I can do it. There are legitimately so many more. Okay, I'd really like to read, wow, okay, I don't even know anymore. There's legitimately just like so many. More of them include Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. Wrong way. No, there we go. Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. Oh, you know what else I want to read that I don't own? I want to read The Infernal Devices. And I know I've sworn off Cassandra Clare because I did not enjoy the Mortal Instruments very much. But I think I want to try it because like people tell me it has historical fiction aspects to it. And like I'm definitely here for that. Magic and historical fiction, I'm here for that. So I think I'm going to explore that. That's something else that I want to read this year. Also, I really want to read We Were Liars. I just bought it. And I've heard amazing things about it. And now that I apparently like thrillers, we're here for this. I also like to read a lot more nonfiction this year, so I've been looking into a lot of that, and I mean that's obviously not it, but those are just a few of the ones that I'm planning on reading. So yeah, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below some of your favorite books that you've read this year, as well as some books that you are excited to get into later this year. And I will see you on Wednesday.